Yeah, students, one more thing I was just thinking, if it suits you, um, I was thinking that, rather than having the quiz on Wednesday, next Wednesday, 27th, can we have it on Monday? If you are all okay,
Yes,
because
ma'am. Yes.
advance is a problem. Postponing, nobody will.
Oh, that is advanced, no? I forgot.
Yeah, yeah, advance. Yeah.
Okay, ma'am.
You can tell, you can only, I have no issues on 27th also, but what I was thinking, today we are going to complete this, will take 5 minutes, this counting binary search tree. Then another topic is there, that is least common subsequence. Okay. And then LCS problem, and then that we will, maybe we start today and we end up tomorrow. So, when something logical has happened, and then Monday we can have the quiz, and then Tuesday, Wednesday we can continue with classes. That way, that is the only thing. But if we have it on Monday, means Monday, Wednesday means Monday, Tuesday I will teach, but that will not come in quiz. So that's what I was thinking. If it is on 25th, I mean, it's up to you. If you are ready, we can have it on 25th. Else 27th was already decided. Will you have a problem? You have any other quiz on? I think you are done with almost quizzes for all other subjects, right? You
Happening,
can,
ma'am. Only one happened, I guess so.
only SICP has happened, no?
No, ma'am. Two happened.
Yeah.
MLDM also happened. Yes, ma'am. Two happened. And
Okay.
then we have IS. Yeah. Other subjects are there.
Okay. Okay. So 27th was the date given prior. Okay. So if that is the case, you want me to keep on 27th only, means we will keep 27th only. Not a problem. Fine. We will. Okay. Let's not change the schedule. First hour 27th, we will have it. First hour. Fine. Fine. So we are working this Saturday also, no, with Thursday timetable. Yeah. Fine, students. Okay. So let's get started. How many? I was just seeing there's some 16 people. Okay. I was the other day, I was talking to Shriba ma'am. Actually, I was complaining about you people. He had some time during puja time. I was telling her that, out of
Complaining,
75,
ma'am.
yeah, yeah, I was complaining to her.
Navratri days also you people will complain,
No, no,
ma'am.
no. That was the only time we got together, the Ayudh Puja day. So I was just talking to her that out of 75, maximum strength is 25. So she was also telling that, including two sections, you people are less seen in SICP classes. Like that. She was telling. Complaining means we were just talking. Okay, like that. So fine. Anyways, that was the day we got time to chat with each other. We were making rangoli and we were just talking like that. So we teachers
Oh
only talk.
wow, ma'am, you people also made Rangoli.
Yes, we have a new faculty. Her name is Amrita. Okay, she is perfect. She only actually did all the rangoli stuff. uh,
Oh,
we just helped her. I mean, she only did actually. We just, for the namesake, we did. So it was very nice. We didn't have any student, but she is a new joinee. So she was perfect. She did
oh.
everything. Yeah.
Reminds me of Sahana of our class, like she's in
Yes.
the other elective.
Okay. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am, do share the pics either personally or in the group.
Okay. Yes. We will share. So we had a nice time. So whenever teachers will talk, we also talk about our students. We were missing students, and then we were seeing hardly maximum strength is 25, like that. I was telling to Shiva ma'am. Anyways, it doesn't matter, because nothing affects you people. So, I mean, those who are attending, they will attend. Those who are not attending, they will not even know, right? That we had a conversation like this, right? Fine, students, fine. Okay. So this is what we were discussing. So yes, the definition should not change, right? So Ti minus 1, the definition will remain same. Okay. So this is the definition basically. how many trees have I as the root? So if you apply it to I minus 1, it becomes the same definition. How many trees have I minus 1 as the root, or how many trees have I plus 1 as the root? Same question. So I plus 1, I plus 2, n. So I was just giving you examples. So you also know, you would have tried that out. So for, let us say, this, if so, this is how in this particular algorithm, this is how we consider, okay? So when we try to solve it using dynamic programming method, okay, so we will have again two solutions. One will be the recursive method, and then we will realize that like Fibonacci series, recursive will have more time complexity, okay? So we will go for a solution which is a dynamic time solution, wherein we will initialize. We have to give the terminating conditions, right? So the terminating conditions will be like this. So we will say when n is zero. I'm facing lot of disturbance. This is because of. All right. So for example, so the terminating condition we will make like this. So we will say when n is equal to 0, so no tree will be formed, right? I mean, the problem itself starts with the number, the integer numbers that we are given is starting from 1. Okay, but we will reach to the terminating condition. So we are saying that when n is equal to 0, no tree is formed. We will consider it as one instance. Okay, the number of trees means no tree is formed. We are calling it as 1. Okay, and when n is equal to 1, so there, when n is equal to 1 means if we have only one number, the number of trees formed will be only 1. That will be only one node. When n is equal to 2, like that you will get, when n is equal to 2 in BST, you can have this as one combination, 1 2. Another combination can be 2 1, right? So two trees will be formed when n is equal to 2. I mean, this is just the example. Then if we have n is equal to 3, that is 1 2 3, right? So we have all these cases. We will have the cases when one is acting as a root. So when one is root, one tree formed will be 1 2 3. Another tree formed will be 1 3 2, right? All of us know that when one is at the root, 2 and 3 both have to go towards the right of 1. But again, 2 3 can come like this, 2 can come like this, then 3. If 3 comes like this, then 2 has to come like this, right? So I mean, this is, we are seeing the examples so that to verify the our answer with our with the algorithm. So when 2, and only we have only n is equal to 3, so when 2 is, we consider 2 as the root node, then there is only one tree that will be formed if the numbers are only 1 2 3. So 2 1 will come here, 3 will come here. And when you consider 3 as the root, 3 as the root, 1 and 2 both have to come towards left of 3. So one chance will be 3 here, 1 here, left hand side, and 2 here, 3 here, 2 here, or 1 here. So what I'm trying to say is, when your n is equal to 3, you are able to get 5 trees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the 5 unique trees. Okay, so just keep it in mind, because when we generate the algorithm like this, we will be generating the BST count. So when it is 3, the BST count is going to be 5. Okay, this is, we because for till 3, if it is, we are able to do it. For 4 also we can do it. Will again, the complexity increases. So for till 3 it is like this. For 2 and 1 I showed you. And what is this picture? Okay, this is for the calculation. Probably I would have done, not important, because I have put this calculation in the slides as well. It is there in slides as well. So this is what, so the problem is same, rather than saying ti plus 1, I can also call it as t n minus I, because I am only counting the numbers. Definitely, if you try to start seeing the tree, it will be different, I plus 1 to n or n minus I. But if we are just keeping the count, then I can also call it as t n minus I. Okay, so that is the sub problem. So now we are assuming that the solution for ti minus 1 and tn minus 1 are given. Then how many trees with I as the root, right? So that's what we discussed yesterday. So this is the final equation. Tn is equal to, so this is for the n numbers that are given 1 to n. Total number of binary search trees is going to be sigma I equal to 1 to n. Okay, but we will also say when n is 0. Okay, no tree is formed, we are considering it as one case. Okay, though it is given in the problem itself. If you see the problem, the very first problem where we define, the numbers are from 1 to n. Okay, so I go to the number that is important, students. This is the problem. How many unique binary search trees can be created using the numbers 1 through n? Okay, so we do not have any confusion. We also consider n is equal to 0. That's a terminating condition because you are going to make I minus 1 here, right? So when I is 1, it is going to be 0, t0. Okay, so that's why we will initialize it. So this is the first form of the algorithm, which you see that you have BST count n, and then you say if n is equal to 0, return 1. Okay, else you are saying sum becomes 0, and for I equal to 1 to n. For I equal to 1 to n, the sum is 0, sum becomes, this according to this equation, you say sum plus sum is initialized 0, BST count, we are again calling the algorithm recursively, I minus 1 multiplied by BST count n minus 1. For I equal to 1 to n. You keep on calculating this, it does your sigma part, and then you return the sum. Again, we face the same problem that what we faced in Fibonacci series, that we are doing multiple calculations. Okay, we are doing the calculation repetitively, a lot of work. Okay? We are repeating a lot of work. So again, the solution is we will not do that. We will not recursively call the algorithm. The other solution is we will make an array. Okay, so we will do the solution bottom up, right? And we will see that how many cases we need to initialize. Do the solution bottom up, and every time we find the solution, we put it in some array, let us say. And we are not having the recursive function call. Whenever we need a previous calculated value, we will not calculate it again. The same principle we apply here as well. Okay, so we write another form of the algorithm. This is the first form. This is we called as BST count n. The second form, we write it here itself. We can quickly compare it. So now here we will see the second part, BST count dynamic programming n, DPN we have written. So we are saying that C0, you can consider C0, C1, Cn is an array of count. That tells you that when there is zero nodes, when there is 0 nodes, how many trees will be formed? So you will say that no tree will be formed, but we consider it as one case. Okay, when n is 1, how many trees will be formed? When n is 2, how many trees will be formed? When n is 3, how many unique BST will be formed? We are keeping everything in a form of an array. So C0, C1, C2, C3, Cn. And our task is to calculate Cn. Okay, so we have initialized first two cases. Now, rather than saying if n is equal to 0, return 1, we are saying C0 is 1 and C1 is 0. Okay, so just to repeat that, students, that's what I told you. When n is equal to 0, we are saying no tree is formed, but we are considering that case also as 1. When n is equal to 1, only one tree is formed. When n is equal to 2, two trees are formed. But we are initializing only these two terminating cases, 0 and 1. From n equal to 2 onwards, we are going to calculate through the algorithm. So this is the algorithm. What it says is for k is equal to 2 to n. It goes from 2 to n. Okay. What it does is ck becomes 0. It initializes the count to 0. Okay. Initializes the count to 0. And you will realize that from this for loop, we are actually returning the value of ck. So ck we have initialized at 0, and every time we are recalculating the ck inside the loop. And the loop goes like this for I equal to 1 to k. For I equal to 1 to k. So suppose I want to find out, for k equal to 2 to n it is. So for I equal to 1 to k, I have to go from 1 to k. Okay. So ck becomes ck plus ci minus 1 multiplied by ck minus I. And then it returns. So whatever you get at the finally, whatever you get here, now it depends. Now I will replace this n. Suppose you want to find out C3, you want to find out C4. Okay, suppose you want to find out C3. This is C3, DP count n. Okay, so K will become 2 to 3. K will become 2 to 3. So you will say C2 is 0 and then I equal to 1 to K. I equal to 1 to 2. So it's a separate counter. I is a separate counter that you will see every time it is going to work like this. Okay, I will tell you the calculation. How does it come? Okay, so to do this calculation, we do it to reduce, to get, to correctly calculate it, the calculation is done like this. So we take two variables. One is this 0, 1, this k is going 2 to n is for the reason 0 is given, 0 and 1 we have initialized, and then we want to calculate how many number of BSTs will be there for k equal to 2 to n. So that is why 0, 1, 2, n. This is fine. Okay. And inside the algorithm, every time you start for a k, you initialize it, ck becomes 0. So when k is equal to 2, you will say C2 is 0. When k is equal to 3, you will say C3 is 0. And then what is this I? I is a new counter. I equal to 1 to k. Okay, so I will always start with 1 and according to what is the value of k, it will go till there. So suppose value of k is 5. So I will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like that it will go. I will go from 1 to k. And then this gives you a perfect calculation. Ck becomes ck plus ci minus 1 multiplied by ck minus I. Return cn. I think it is there in the next slide also. Yes, to do one calculation, we have just taken one example. How does it do the calculation? Okay, so initialize. So as per the algorithm, C0 will be 1. So this is the, it is telling you the count here. This is the array C, okay, that we are seeing here. So C0 is 1 and C1 is 1. Now let us calculate for 2. Okay, how does it come? I want to calculate C2. I want to calculate C2. How does it come? Okay, I've written the final expression, but how does it come? Let us say. Okay, so K is equal to 2 to N, and I want to calculate C2, for example. Okay, so K is equal to 2 to N. We have made, firstly, it will be, the calculation will come like this. So maybe, there will be a small difference, students, in the sense this, somewhere it is written as a small c or somewhere capital C, but it is same, okay? So that is not to get confused. I should update that. Sometimes it automatically changes. I had done these changes yesterday. So, okay, you can make those changes, or I will, before I upload in Teams, I will make those changes that it is corrected. So this C is same, okay? So now I want to calculate, let us say C2. Okay, I want to calculate C2 means number of unique BST when n is equal to 2. Okay, so n is equal to 2 means I have two nodes, 0 and, sorry, I have two nodes, 1 and 2. That is the problem, that I have nodes starting from 1 to n. So 1 to 2, I have two nodes and I want to calculate the number of trees. So the calculation is simple. Let us trace it through the algorithm. To calculate C2, okay, so what we do is we come here for k equal to 2 to n. Okay, ck is equal to 0, right? So my ck is equal to 0, k is equal to 2 now, right? So C2 will become 0. When you enter to this loop, C2 becomes 0. I told you, right? Initialize C2 with 0. Then for I equal to 1 to k, I is a separate counter, students. I equal to 1 to k. So now what will happen? My I will become 1 first. I will become 1. 1 to k means I will become 1, then I will become 2. How long it will go? Because value of k is 2. I will become 1, and here you see I have made I is equal to 2. Right? So initially for I equal to 1 to k means I is 1 and k is 2. In this line, first time when it enters to the loop, I is 1 and k is 2. And then it comes here. How does the calculation happen? Calculation is ck becomes ck plus ci minus 1. I minus 1 multiplied by c, k minus I. So when I put the value, it comes as C2. C2 is equal to Ck. Ck is, Ck was initialized to 0. So I am taking the value from the array. Ck is 0 plus Ci minus 1 means C1 minus 1 multiplied by Ck minus I means C2 minus 1. Right? So it becomes, if you see this, it becomes C0 multiplied by C1. Right? So C2, if you put it here, once it entered to the loop first time, C2 becomes C0 into C1. Now, if you do C0 into C1, it will be 1, but I am not writing it at C0 into C1. Okay, I can actually call it as 1 here because both the values are 1, but I am just putting it C0 into C1 to tell you the exact calculation. Then what happens? I becomes 2. Again, it enters to the loop. I equal to 1 to k. I becomes 2. Okay, and k is still 2. Then again, it calculates the same value, C2. Okay, Ck, that is C2 is equal to now Ck, C2, the value of k is 2, C2 plus Ci minus 1. I minus 1 means 2 minus 1. I is 2 now. K minus I is 2 minus 2. So it becomes C2. Okay. So now you see this C2. It is C2 plus this C2. I am replacing with C0 into C1. I could have directly written the value, the value of C2 that we calculated from here was 1. I'm not doing it. Okay, so this C2 I am rewriting with C0 into C1, this line, plus this C2 minus 1 is C1 into C0. This is what we are getting. Okay, so to tell you that, for k is equal to 2 to n, when it enters to the loop, finally, when you calculate C2, C2 comes like this. With red color, we have written C0 into C1 plus C1 into C0. You can see a pattern will be formed. Okay, you when you analyze this because if I tell, there will be confusion. So students, there was a network loss. Now it is fine, right, students? But we can't see the screen. Okay. Am I audible?
Your screen is audible
Yeah, I
right
have
now.
to. Yeah. I have to share it again. I am doing it, students. 1 minute. There was a network issue in between, and there was a connection loss. Please stay join at this device. Fine. Okay. So this is what we are seeing. So you can try identifying the pattern. I will not say the pattern. You can try identifying the pattern. Okay. So what basically we are doing, we are calculating for Ck. So likewise, it will go for 2 to n. We are doing this, repeating this calculation, and you saw that for the value of I will go from 1 to k. So those many number of times it is going to calculate, right? So at the end, when I do it for C2, I get C0 C1 plus C1 C0. So C0 C1 is 1 into 1 plus C1 C0 will be 1 into 1. So this will be 1 plus 1, answer will be 2. And you also know, when you have been given only two nodes, 1 and 2, you are able to form two trees only, right? 1, 2, 1 and the right hand side is 2. Another one is 2 and left hand side is 1. So the answer is going to come as 2 here. Okay, so these are the two possible trees with two nodes. So C2 is going to be 2. That's what you are calculating. This algorithm is able to calculate. Okay, so we can, I don't know whether I have written calculation for 3 or not. I don't know. Let us, I forgot actually. Okay, so you have the same algorithm. So, you know, now we are testing it for if there are 3 nodes, 1, 2, 3. You know the answer is should be 5. Right, you know the answer should be 5. So because if 1 becomes as the root, you have 2 cases, right? I showed you if 2 is as a root, there is only one possible tree. If 3 is at the root, then there are 2 trees possible. So the total answer is going to be 5. Okay, so now how this 5 will come, we can put it in this this algorithm. Okay, I think I was, yeah, yesterday I wrote it, right? So it is like this. So to calculate C3, we will come here. So we will say C3. So when it comes to C3, so now students, when I calculate C3, I will have these calculations. 1, 1 and 2 is available to me, and then I am calculating for C3. We are always making the solution bottom up. So when you calculate for C3, you come here, K is equal to 2 to N. You will say, now K is your, you want to calculate C3. So for K equal to 2 to N, now it is 3. Okay. It is 3. For 3 also you are going to come here. It would have previously calculated C2, then it comes C3. So to calculate C3, you will initialize here. C3 becomes 0. And then I equal to 1 to K means I will go from 1 to 2. First I will be 1. K is 3. Okay. Next time I will be 2. K will still remain 3. And finally I will become 3 and K will become 3. Like that, 3 times it will go. Okay, so when it goes, it comes like this. First time Ck is Ck plus C, 1 I minus 1 into Ck minus K minus 1. So you get C3 as C0 into C2. Okay, next time when it again goes, you know, every time you are calculating C3. So C3 comes as C0 C2 plus C1 C1. And finally, when you calculate C3 here, at the end, you get the calculation like this. C0, C2 plus C1, C1 plus C2, C0. Okay, what I am trying to tell here is, when you calculate C3, you know, do not put the values. Okay, do not put the values and try to identify the pattern. Okay, so when you are calculating for C3, okay, so this is, see with red color, this is what is the calculation that you are getting. C0, C2 plus C1, C1 plus C2, C0. Okay, one, I will not comment on it because it is up to you. How do you see the pattern? Okay, C0, C2 plus C1, C1 plus C2, C0. These 3 things. And nice thing about it is, that is what the dynamic programming property is. When you are calculating for C3, you are using the values that are already there. C0, C1 and C2. Right? These values are already there. So finally, when you calculate, for example, for C3, it comes like this. This is the calculation. This is written, you know, just to trace the algorithm. Okay. So now when you calculate, it comes as 5. So C0 into C2 will be 2, right? Plus C1 into C1 will be 1 and C2 into C0 will be 2. So the total answer is going to be 5 that we have seen. So likewise, we can calculate. So we can calculate it for N as well. Okay. So what is going to be the running time? 2 for loops, right? So we say it as ON square. Okay. So we call it as ON square. So that is what is about binary search tree. Okay. With the dynamic programming solution. Okay. So now we start with the next topic, next problem that is quite interesting, and it's like it is where it will be used. You can think, you know, longest common subsequence. So the problem can be treated the other way around also. No, I mean, you can formulate a different problem also, that is least common subsequence. We are not talking about it here. The meaning of L is longest common subsequence. What we are trying to do is, we have been given 2 sequences. and there will be some common characters into that. Generally, the sequences are made up of the common characters, and we want to find out that what is the subsequence that is the longest. In various pattern matching kind of algorithm where you are doing genome sequencing, many things, these kind of applications, there it will be used. Longest common subsequence. Okay, so the question is, for a sequence x equal to x1, x2, xn, a subsequence, so we are trying to understand what is a subsequence, then we will talk about longest common subsequence. First of all, what is a subsequence? Subsequence is a subset of sequences defined by a set of increasing indices, I1, I2, Ik, where 1 is less than equal to I1 is less than I2 is less than Ik is less than equal to n. Okay, simply to say that if this is being given to me, what do you used to in your compiler design course, you would have studied a substring, no? You would have studied substring. So it is that only. Subsequence or sequence is nothing but a substring. You would have studied prefix of a string, post suffix of a string, right? And then you would have studied a substring of a string. So it is sequence is nothing but a substring. Okay, substring is like if this is a string given to me, I can say A, B, A is a substring, right? Or I can say A, D, A is a substring. Okay, in between I can remove, I don't know if that is your that is a definition of substring. Okay, so in substring, you know, it has to be in sequence. So if I take C and A, it is fine. I can call it as a substring. D, I am removing D in between. But I am not saying it is AC for this particular matter. Okay, it should be in a sequence. That's what we are saying. For a sequence, x1, x2, xn, a subsequence is a subset of the sequence defined by a set of increasing indices. Okay, so for example, whether ABA is a substring or not substring, let me use the word subsequence only, whether ABA is a subsequence or not. Yes, it is. Okay, because you are able to find ABA here. Okay, now whether ACA is a sequence or not. ACA, okay, it is ACA, though it is not coming continuously, right? But ACA means after A, C is there, and in between there may be a character, but it's an increasing index. Okay, so ACA is you can call it as a subsequence. Let me not say the term substring, not to create confusion, but this is called as a subsequence. So we saw ACA is a subsequence, ABA is a subsequence, ACA is also a subsequence. DCA, whether it is a subsequence or not. DCA I am not able to find because D is the first character here. After that, there is no CA. So DCA is not a subsequence. Okay. Then AADAA, whether it is a subsequence or not. Let me check. AADAA. It should be yes. Right? AADAA. It's all in increasing order. You know, if you start from this side, if you treat the string as x1, x2, xn, like this, x1, x2, xn, then in increasing order, you are able to find this pattern. So it's a subsequence. AADAA is a subsequence, right? So now the question is, what is the LCS problem? So first of all, we understood what is a subsequence, right? So now you can have subsequence in any sequence. If you call the whole string as a sequence, then you can call subsequence as substring of it, something, okay? So the question is, what is the LCS problem? The problem is you have been given two sequences, X and Y. Okay, now what is, first we will understand what is a common subsequence. A common subsequence is a subsequence that occurs in both X and Y. Okay, so the problem is, the question is, the two sequences are there, x1, x2, xn, and another sequence is y1, y2, yn. We need to find out what is the longest common subsequence. Okay, so there will be a subsequence between two strings, right? But we want to find out what is the longest common subsequence. It's a little difficult. Okay, so again we will solve it into pieces, you know, piecewise, in the sense the question is what is the longest common subsequence, we will reduce the problem to first find out What will be the length of the longest common subsequence? First, we will try to solve the problem as what will be the length of the longest common subsequence. It's some random sequence. Okay. So, for example, this is the two sequences given to us. X is A, B, C, B, D, A, B. Y is B, D, C, A, B, A. Right? The basic question is, what is the longest common subsequence? If there is a subsequence that is here also, there may be many subsequences now, right? Many subsequences which are common. Now, for example, I can say A is a subsequence that is common. A is here also, A is here also. I can also say AA. AA is here and also AA is here, right? Can I say ABA? ABA is another subsequence. ABA is falling here also, ABA is falling here also, right? So the question is actually, what is the longest common subsequence? That is little difficult to answer. Okay, so what we try to answer first is, what is the length of the longest common subsequence? Okay, we can develop the algorithm together, to find out the length of the longest common subsequence, or what is the longest common subsequence. Let us say we will be interested first in finding out what is the length of the longest common subsequence. We will try all possible ways and we can do it, right? Difficult, no? It is very difficult to do that. So let us see. So the answer here is this one, that is meant by green color. Okay. This is the longest common subsequence. It's a small two sequences given to us. So B, D, A, B. The length is 1, 2, 3, 4, and B, D, A, B exists here also. There is no longest common subsequence that is more than 4 characters. And and this is the one, right? So of course we need an algorithm to solve this. This was just it's a small example and we could identify it. We need an algorithm to solve this, right? So the next part of the problem is, to solve this problem, we need to define the problem with respect to subproblems, as usual we do, because we assume that we have a solver for smaller problems, right? So what do we do now? It's quite interesting. Okay, so suppose we are just doing it through the examples now. Okay, we will come to the algorithm as well. So suppose you have been given X equal to A, B, C, B, D, A, B, Y is equal to B, D, C, A, B, A. And I am looking the longest common subsequence. Okay, so one way could be that I always check. So I know if it's a longest common subsequence, that will that will that comes in the longest common subsequence. So what we try to see is, we start seeing the sequences from towards the end, because if it's the longest common subsequence, I have to add the characters from the end as well, right? So that is how we start the algorithm. Now suppose I have this. So what we try to do is, we basically test. Now I see the another difficulty in solving such problems is, the length of X is not the same as length of Y, right? X can be of some length M and Y can be of some length N. And that we are not knowing. We don't know whether which one is bigger. Okay, right now let us say we don't know, but we assume that the length is not the same. So now to solve the problem, we can start solving it by seeing the last character of X and last character of Y. Suppose they both are same. Okay, so I will check what is the last character of X, what is the last character of Y. If they both are same, then obviously it is going to take part. So suppose here is a character A and here also is the same character. That means this character will definitely come in longest common subsequence. No doubts about it, right? Like this, it has come, no? So if you see here, the last character was B, right? the last character was B. Here also not last, but this character was B. So it took part. Suppose this was not ending with A. So these two are same, so they will take part in making longest common subsequence. Okay, likewise, we start our algorithm. Okay, so what we do is we check the last character or rightmost character of X and rightmost character of Y. If they are same, for example, then I will say, now I am focusing only on finding the length of the longest common subsequence. Then I will say that the length of the longest common subsequence will be 1. At least one character is matching, right? 1 plus length of longest common subsequence of X, I will take from 1 to, if it is n minus 1, and Y I will take from 1 to, if it is m minus 1. I can break the problem like this. Okay, so we check, is the last character part of the LCS? Two cases are possible. Either the characters are same or they are different. Okay, if they are same, for example, this one. Okay, so we have two sequences and we find that the last characters are same. If the last characters are same, that means these characters are part of LCS, longest common subsequence. So in that case, what is the recursive relationship? Okay, so we can define our recursive relationship like this, if they are same. Okay, so the basic problem was this. I wanted to find out longest common subsequence between X and Y. Okay, and now I am reducing this problem to that the longest common subsequence is going to be longest common subsequence of x1 to n minus 1. Why n minus 1? Because I am assuming that x has an index, x has n characters. So now because these two are matching, so I am saying LCS between x1 to n minus 1 and y1 to m minus 1 plus xn. Okay, so still we are saying that we want to find out the longest common subsequence. So we are saying that the last character is matching. So that character will automatically come. And then the solution is LCS XY is LCS x1 to n minus 1, y1 to m minus 1 plus xn. And if I want to treat it as a length, so this will actually give me the longest common subsequence. Now, if I am interested only in finding out the length of the longest common subsequence, so it is going to be plus this x. I will not call it as xn, I will say that 1, at least one character is matching, plus the length of longest common subsequence between x1 to n minus 1 and y1 to m minus 1, right? That is one case, first case, right? So, but if they are different, this is the case when last character is same. If they are different, then what has to be done, right? Then what has to be done? Interestingly, if you see in this example, we are finding this B is not matching with A. Okay, suppose I skip this B, but then you will see that this A is matching with this A. Right? Yeah, if I skip this B, this A is matching with this A. Or here, if I skip this B is not matching with this A, if I skip this A, this B is matching with this B. Right? So what does that indicate? If they are different, okay, if they are different, then we have two choices. If they are different, I have two choices. One choice is like this. So basically I wanted to find LCS between X and Y, but because they are different, so, and here just by seeing the picture, I will say that LCS XY, longest common subsequence between XY will be longest common subsequence between X1 to n minus 1 and Y. Okay, why did I do that here? Because I knew this B was not matching. Okay, and somehow you found out that, you know, that that length of X was more than length of Y. Okay, and you found that out, you know, we will see all these cases. We found that this character was not matching. X last character was not matching with Y. So what you did was, you said that LCS between x1 to n minus 1. Anyways, this was not matching. Anyways, this is not matching. So you removed it. You said that LCS between x1 to n minus 1 and y you took completely. Let us just go by the example, okay? As per this example, because this B was not matching, so what we did was LCS x1 to n minus 1, longest common subsequence, and what is between y. Because we know this will not match. So what is the longest common subsequence between them is whatever we get answer from this. There is another case if they are different, right? So another case is like this. If they are different, like this. Okay, so what we do is we know this A is not going to match. So I am keeping x as it is, LCS x with y1 to m minus 1. Right? So it is possible, so many possibilities are there. So one possibility is this. One possibility is when they are matching. First possibility is the last characters are matching. So you are saying LCS will be LCS of x 1 to n minus 1, y 1 to m minus 1 plus this last character. If they are not matching, okay, and you end up something like this. So this was not matching. So now you will say that LCS between x and y is LCS x 1 to n minus 1 and y. Another case is if it is something like this, you will say it is LCS x and LCS y 1 to m minus 1. We are trying to identify how we can define the problem with respect to subproblems. That's what we are trying to identify. Okay, so if they are different, we had two cases, right? So this was one case where they were different, but then you realize if you skip this, these two are matching. And here, if you skip this, these two are matching, right? So these are the two cases. So what we do is, so this is how we put the problem. Okay, now this problem is only counting the length of the LCS. For now, let's just worry about counting the length of LCS. Then with that, after counting the length of longest common subsequence, with that algorithm, we will modify what is the exact longest common subsequence. Right now, we will develop the algorithm for counting the length of LCS. So this is how we write the algorithm. LCS x, not the algorithm, it is just a small part. On this basis, we will develop the algorithm. LCS xy is 1 plus LCS x1 to n minus 1, y1 to m minus 1. This is the first case if xn is equal to yn. Okay, so here we are saying that x is of length n and y is of length m. X has a length n, y has a length m, and we are saying that LCS xy is going to be 1. If xn is ym, the last character of x is matching with the last character of y. So if xn is matching with ym, so we will say that longest common sequence will be at least one character y. So 1 plus, and then we find out LCS between x1 to n minus 1 and y1 to m minus 1. Very first case. Otherwise, this takes care of the other cases. Okay, what it says is otherwise it is maximum of whatever is the maximum. Okay, so what you do is in one case you will say LCS x 1 to n minus 1, y you take completely. It is the last characters are not matching. Okay, the last characters are not matching. So in one case you will say x you will reduce one character from x1 to n minus 1, and y you take as it is. Next time you reduce one character from y. X you take as it is. LCS x y 1 to m minus 1. Right? So first case you take one character less from x. Next time you take one character less from y. And whatever is the maximum. Okay. And we say what is the length? Whichever gives you the maximum. You will have to do both cases. LCS between this and this. And whichever gives you the maximum length, that is what we are going to take as length of the longest common subsequence. Okay, so on this we will be developing our algorithm tomorrow, students. Okay, by any chance, have you studied this before? Yes, students, I am just asking whether have you studied this before?
Like, I'm not. Yes, ma'am. I think this was there in DA, and also for interviews and all, had to prepare all this, ma'am.
Okay, very good.
Longest common subsequence.
Very good. Then, okay, fine. So tomorrow we will be talking about this, students. We'll be able to complete this tomorrow. Okay, fine. So yeah, so we'll wind up now, students. Thank you very much. Okay. So finally 31 students are there in this class. What is the how many number of attendees? 26 now. Okay, but in between I had seen 31. Fine students, fine. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a great day.
Yeah, same to you, everybody. Yeah.